no, this is going to be like that one time that you did.
We don't know yet. .pod.podco, but
yeah. It was our email account.
Oh,
and you were like,
bugger.
we don't know yet. .pod@gmail. We don't know yet.
Early days.
Here we are. We made it.
So good.
And this is episode 25.
Woohoo! Would you care to share with our audience, dear Zeb, where our next steps sort of look like?
Do we?
Do we?
Hey, I'm Zeb.
And I'm Maddie.
And welcome to the We Don't Know Yet podcast. Whilst both Maddie and I are healthcare practitioners, we understand that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to healthcare. Should you require any medical attention, please seek out your local healthcare practitioner.
Dude, my brain is fried from that planning session.
Love.
In a good way. I feel like that was very productive of us.
Yeah, I feel like you're definitely really ready.
I feel like I'm really ready. I was talking to clients today. I was like, what am I even saying?
For context for everyone, Maddie, you are leaving us.
I am.
In 2 days.
I am.
Are you excited?
I'm very once I get through my to-do list, I will be excited because it's not even just going away. It's also work, but it's also actually moving out at the same time. I don't know why I do this to myself.
Yeah, and forgetting that we haven't given everyone context, but you're going on holiday in 2 days.
Oh, yeah. But I'll actually be back by the time you guys are listening to this. Like, surprise.
It'll be like a little...
Yeah.
You disappeared for a day.
We've been very organised, guys. We've gotten all the episodes done for when I'm away, and I'm away for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Super crazy.
But I'm proud of us. We're organised.
We have pumped it out from January, where Kenny was like to us, you guys need to be better.
Just chasing our tails.
Organisation in general. I was like, we do. We need a bit of a plan. We need like some structure and here we are. We made it.
So good.
And this is episode 25.
Woohoo! What were the stats?
I don't know. Well, the stats I feel like were in regards to getting to episode 10 and episode 20. So we might have to go and ask Kenny about if there's stats for getting to episode 25.
What was the episode 10? It was something really grim.
Yeah, it was like 80% of podcasts, or don't quote me on the numbers, but 80% of podcasts don't get to episode 10.
Look at us now, world.
Crazy.
Oh my God. And then it was like even half of that to episode 20, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something thereabouts.
Yeah.
That's insane. Proud of us.
Pretty wild.
We've done good.
I'm also proud of us. I feel like 25 episodes doesn't seem like a lot, but if we think about it, that's essentially a full year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. 52 weeks in a year, and we post fortnightly. Did you know, actually, a slight tangent, people in other countries don't use the word fortnight.
I did not know that was a thing.
People say bi-weekly or just every 2 weeks.
I did know bi-weekly was a thing. I didn't know.
I think it's in the UK. They don't use fortnight. UK or US, one of the U's.
There you go. Well, lucky you don't have to know that for where you're going.
No, I don't. No.
Maybe.
I have to speak Spanish. I don't know.
Okay, well, you're not going to be able to say fortnight in Spanish anyway.
No, le fortnight? Oh, that's cringe. At the start of the year, I was so hell-bent on learning Spanish and Duolingo. I was like, okay, that'll be my hobby. I'll have a boundary from work and I'll learn something else.
And then you forgot about life.
I forgot about it. And Duolingo, for anyone that's used it, bit fucking annoying, if I'm honest. They send you notifications all the time.
Yeah, it's because it's meant to keep you accountable.
Oh, it just got annoying that I learned how to turn the notifications off.
I was about to say, did you delete the app? It's gone.
I deleted the app. I was like, I can't. But yeah, no.
I feel like you would have had to have deleted the app months ago as well, because you were running out of storage on your phone.
I was, but now I've got a Big Mama storage phone, so it's great.
Big Mama.
Big Mama. I actually need to. That's my plain job, going through all my photos and videos and culling.
Really?
Culling.
Even on your Big Mama storage phone?
Yeah, because I don't want to take advantage of the Big Mama storage phone capacity and then fill it up with shit.
Why not?
Because
that's the best part about a Big Mama storage phone.
We love a Big Mama storage phone. That's actually Apple's new iPhone that's coming out, the Big Mama storage.
Yeah.
It's been ages since we've just sat down, the two of us.
I know, it feels kind of funny not having like a guest in here or someone to kind of talk or bounce off, but I think it's well overdue.
I feel like that has actually attributed to the 25 eps feeling so easy.
Yeah, because it's easy when you ask questions the whole time, but hard. Like I remember when we were starting with some of the episodes that were kind of a bit more informative and research based on an hour and a half. It was like, oh my gosh, we have to plan episode content. We have to make sure that we're getting all relevant kind of information that's evidence based, and we're not going to get, we were kind of sitting there looking at I was like, please don't come after us.
Please. Oh my gosh.
But it has helped.
For context, if that was our full-time, it was our full-time jobs, not an issue. We definitely would sound like pretentious little princesses.
Yeah,
We also
definitely.
work full-time on top of this, guys. So, like, it's a lot. We love you guys. That's why we did it.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're treating and managing patients, you got to read research anyway to manage the people that you're treating in real life.
True.
Versus just, this is just like light reading on the side for the podcast production.
Yeah, it
can be pretty hectic.
I know, seriously. But it's just been cool meeting people as well. And I obviously will get into more of that today as well.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Meeting people, chatting shit, expanding our professional networks.
Yeah. Well, we're both good at chatting shit. So
very good at chatting
shit. It's been good.
I've been mindful of my swears on this podcast, but I feel like people don't mind.
I feel like my mum pulled us both up on it
multiple
times. Yeah, she was like, "You guys need to really identify your demographic."
No, when on the weekend?
She listens to every episode.
Did she?
No, I've spoken to her on the phone before, and like she's been like,
"Mama Jarvis, no."
Yeah, there you go.
And she said, "Maddie swears heaps."
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's fair. Like, you're not wrong, Mama Jarvis.
Slap on the wrist.
Yeah. My mum, if she listened to this, would have a go for sure. She's always into me. You sound so broken. Like, I do, but it's let me be me. It's not a phase, Mom.
Classic.
Oh my God, is she actually? What a fan though.
She is a fan. She's a hardcore fan.
I love that.
She's following it on Spotify and YouTube, I think.
And Apple Podcasts.
I don't think she has Apple Podcasts, but that's okay because we're on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, did you guys know that we're on Apple Podcasts now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Solid plug.
Not a promo. Not an ad.
But should we go over what this episode's going to be a little bit about?
Absolutely. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, well, so we thought it'd be really cool. Episode 25, last however many episodes we've had guests in, we've been learning some really cool things. We thought we'd take episode 25 as kind of like a 1 year anniversary style recap on kind of where we've been, and where we're going, and give you guys a bit of a debrief on the last 25 episodes. Just because I think there's not many hours in the day, and sometimes you can't watch every episode. But for us as well, it's really cool to look back on some of the episodes that we've done and reflect on them a little bit, and also just reflect on the whole journey so far and like where we actually have gotten to.
So I was going to say, you and I are very ambitious people, I feel. And I feel like that's not arrogant to say, but like we are very driven. But I can I definitely experienced it. I'm sure I'm going to assume you do too. But like when you've got a goal in mind, you never really stop and go, I'm proud of me. Like you're just like, let's keep going.
Yeah, like this isn't good enough.
Yeah, you're your own worst critic. So it is nice to like take a moment and be like, oh, actually we have come so far.
Yeah, we have, because when we first started, and for those who were following our journey from the beginning, it was like backyard. Well, actually, and people won't know the full story, but there's footage of Maddie and I setting up on a table inside at my house that we're going to put on the video version of this.
We
might just keep the audio over the top of it at the minute, but we sat down like on a table that we'd pulled in from my garage inside with a ring light across from us.
And it looked glary AF. It was so bad.
It was tragic.
Yeah.
It was really bad. But we've gone from there to then the backyard, which was...
I still rate the backyard.
I loved the backyard. The backyard was good.
There were some logistical issues, but it's okay.
Yeah. We were in nature.
Nature.
It was probably good for summer, not good for now.
Nature, garbage day, rain.
Yeah,
birds.
rain, which is a lot more frequent now, I feel.
Yes.
It hasn't been good for.
Imagine in this... Oh, guys, for context, it's like 10 degrees. It's not fun.
It would not be good.
No.
And because we were filming at like 8 o'clock in the morning as well. So it would be like 6 degrees outside now if we were still outside.
But it served its purpose.
It did serve its purpose, because now...
Look at us.
We're here.
Woohoo. We're in the big podcast world.
Yeah.
Big podcast people. I love it.
Podcast people in the Grey Creative
Our friends
Studio.
at the Grey Creative.
Yeah, and this place is also growing like us.
I know.
We just actually had a look around with Trent
so cool
today. And had a look upstairs at the co-working spaces and...
So cool. Guys, this actually isn't an ad. We're just genuinely impressed with our friends. He's done a very
doing
job.
Cool things.
Very cool. They've got co-working space. Would they have a thrift shop on the weekend?
Yeah, they had a thrift shop. I don't think it was the weekend just gone. I think it was the weekend before.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but they had the thrift shop, which they're going to do more of. And he's going to have meeting rooms.
So sick.
I know.
Even having just this space so early on in the piece, I think was really pivotal for us.
Game changing.
Yeah.
And to quote Bo, wow, this is really professional of you guys.
I was so happy when he said that because, again, you can be your own worst critic. You're like, this isn't good enough.
Yeah, well, and we'll give credit where credit's due to some of the team that's been behind us since the start. But having some of the team over at Drip Digital go through our 1%ers and try and really level up our podcast to start with was awesome.
You actually need your LSKD, the 1% hat.
Oh, yeah, I do. Sorry, I'm wearing the other one today.
Chase the vibe. We are chasing the vibe as well.
We are chasing the vibe. But yeah, like having the music and now obviously as well the podcast studio. And
so good. So good.
And then episode ideas early on were really difficult as well for us. I feel like we were trying to pull at some big concepts and try and make them really digestible. Yeah.
And look, if we had a full-time researcher on, unreal, but just the time.
Yeah.
And then what else were we going to do? Alternate a guest to a episodes.
Yeah. Which I think we did up until episode 10 or episode 11 or something like that.
So it was like Zeb and I for one app, then a guest, then ongoing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was good.
And still works. And we do hope to get back to some of that eventually.
Yeah, more of us. You guys need more of us, right?
Yeah, you need way more of us. Less of everyone else.
It has been good though. I feel like, again, we're just interviewing people, so it's good to chat some more shit.
Yeah, but the whole.
Sorry, Mama Jarvis.
Yeah, sorry, Mama Jarvis.
I'm going to be so mindful of my swearing now.
I can't wait. But I think the whole concept of this as well was learning new things. And yes, like we can learn new things through researching and breaking down some topics together. But what a better way to learn new things than get some of the lovely people that we've had on to come in, talk us through some of their specialty areas or their special interest areas. And we can learn that way as well.
Actually, what's really stuck with me, and I feel like it speaks quite nicely to that, I hope. Do you remember when we went and saw the Diary of a CEO, like Stephen Bartlett in Sydney, and he was giving he was touching on Richard Branson and his success with Virgin. And Richard Branson's got dyslexia. So apparently in every board meeting, he wasn't really listening or he just really couldn't understand what they were talking about. And I think some exec or some assistant or something was like, Richard, do you know what we were talking about in that meeting? And he, whenever somebody said how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? He interpreted it as who. And he attributes that to his success. So it's like, rather than wasting time figuring out how to do something, he's like, well, who's that person?
I do remember that story, but
I don't know if I did it justice, but I think I did.
Yeah, I do remember that, and I think yeah. And then he had a team around him of people who were able to
do that,
deliver and do the jobs that he needed done.
But similarly, yes, we could figure out how to explain concepts to you guys, and look, we might still, but who better than the professionals to get in and let them do the talking?
Absolutely, and we've had some awesome professionals on too.
We have,
which has been fantastic.
I know, it's been good.
And I feel like as well, and not just the guests, but the team that's behind us as well. So for those who don't know, we have Kenny and the team at Drip Digital, and they've been here the whole time.
Oh,
pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much actually.
Since episode 1.
Yeah, so prior to ep 1, when we were playing around with, getting familiar with equipment and whatnot, Zeb, God love him, wanted to teach himself how to edit everything on Adobe. And look, I reckon you'd be great at it. It's just time consuming.
Oh, yeah. There's just a lot to go through.
There's a lot of YouTube tutorials consumed.
There is. And there was. YouTube tutorials took up my life for the better portion of probably a month or two.
There's nothing wrong with learning a new skill, but
yeah, because I think by the time we actually started filming, we were already 2 months in. And those 2 months were literally
playing around.
Yep. And
not
organising
like
the
that.
equipment.
Get your minds out of the gutters.
You weird people. But yeah, no, actually just playing around with the setup and what equipment we needed. And then when we worked out we were going to use iPhones as well, it was like, oh gosh, okay, are they going to work? How do we do it? Do we do, landscape or portrait and then having Kenny and the team to kind of come in and be like, yep.
Give feedback.
This is what we need to do. It's been unreal.
Guys, we just film and record, and yes, we don't have anyone in the studio. It's just us, but it works well. And then we just give them everything, and it's unreal.
Yeah.
So
good. Piece everything together for us.
Yeah.
And Kenny's always good for getting on top of us as well. If we're being lazy or we're being slack. Like this year in January, we came back from Chrissy, and we weren't very prepared and organised. And
we were max relaxed.
We were max relaxed, but we were also hella stressed after that because then we were like, we're
going
to miss our 2-week turnaround. What are we going to do? We don't have anything.
Hats off to the people that do weekly or bi-weekly. No, bi-weekly means fortnightly. Twice a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. It's a lot. But no, he is really good for accountability. And as you said, like support, just giving those little tidbits of information and feedback.
Yeah, which has been really good. And it's made the editing process a lot easier. I don't have to go through on Adobe.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And the grey, as we said earlier, really up-leveling the quality of the podcast.
And the scenery.
And the scenery and the non-garbage truck soundery.
I'm going to pay that. Yeah. And then as well, having the coffee shop out the front.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it means we can, shout our guests to coffee, fuel them, get them nice and jittery so they need to word vomit the whole time.
So good. I love, the best coffee ever. It's so good. But also fueling my caffeine addiction.
I just love coffee in general.
I actually thought of the other day, I was like, should I do a week of tracking how much money I spend on coffee? I was like,
don't.
No.
I feel like you have coffee even at like 3:00 in the afternoon.
I've got ADHD. I could have a coffee and go to sleep.
That's crazy.
It's insane. It's good for me. It doesn't bother me. But actually there's times where I will have a coffee and it makes me sleepier in the middle of the day. Like it's a risky game.
Yeah, because you
Dopamine.
kind of peak and then you crash real hard.
Yeah, or even just like I have it and it makes me sleepy. It doesn't make me
really?
peak. Yeah. Yep. Because it's like, I'm not even going to explain it. It's like a whole dopamine thing. I've done some research.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's pretty cool.
I don't know how people can do that. Anytime I have caffeine, I'm bounced off walls.
Yeah. Look.
Today I did have to have two coffees.
Did you?
In the morning.
You looked tired this morning.
Yeah. For context as well, I got back from Adelaide last night. Big weekend.
Shout out to Radelaide.
Radelaide, what a place. City of churches.
What were you guys saying though? The airport was a bit of a
oh yeah, it was just chaotic trying to get
I was
home last night.
Show, but Mama Jar was like,
yeah, she's watching.
Yeah.
But what we also thought we'd break off and go through some highlights from the last year as well. So some
bit of a highlight reel.
Episode highlights, and we've got some bloopers that we're also going to throw in at the end of this.
Yeah,
but
they'll also be going up on socials. So like Zeb's fave eps or moments from eps, mine, and then also from you guys. So our highest ranking eps to date.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
We'll get to that after our favorite moments. But let's start with some personal favorites in terms of just some episode highlights.
Yeah.
Have you got any?
I feel like, and again, a bit biased, but when we had Bronte Hendricks from Stella in, that was a pretty cool moment because obviously I've been working for Stella. For anyone that doesn't know, Stella Experiences is a disability support service, and they're just unreal. They do some really cool things. If you have the chance, go check them out on social media, Instagram. They're pretty prominent on. But because I've been working with her for so long and I am a fangirl, I think I said that to her on air, it was just cool to sit down and hear a little bit more about how it came to be and just the sort of journey so far and how awesome it is.
And it wasn't just because we had Bowie in here?
Oh no, baby Bowie, media trained baby. That baby did not make a peep. It was unreal.
Yeah.
And
having Bowie in here was a big highlight.
Yeah, so that was definitely a highlight for me. And actually learning in that episode about like people with invisible disabilities like autism, the sunflower lanyard scheme.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing, but now that I know, I see them everywhere.
Yeah, I have seen them actually a couple of times, and as well because I follow Stella now. Didn't realise, but in a lot of their posts, they're using them as well when they go to some of those bigger events like the festivals and all that kind of stuff.
So good. And I think for the boys they have like little sunflower wristbands.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. That's definitely a big highlight for me.
Have you guys seen the sunflower lanyards that are going around?
No.
Oh, the sunflower lanyards is a really, really cool initiative that came out recently. Like you guys said, like Autism Awareness Month. That is an invisible disability. And our guests with invisible disabilities, they can struggle the most, like more than a physical disability or someone with Down syndrome or whatnot, because in the community, it's not highlighted that they do have a disability. So if they are experiencing any challenges, whether that's like catching the bus or the train or in an overwhelming environment like a music festival, without someone being able to, I guess, understand that they are struggling, like it can be quite difficult. Have you guys seen the sunflower lanyards that are going around?
No.
Oh, the sunflower lanyards is a really, really cool initiative that came out recently. It's been super helpful for like traveling, and basically someone with an invisible disability can pop on a sunflower lanyard. And now that we're creating more awareness about what the sunflower lanyards are, it just means that like if you see someone wearing one, you have that kind of understanding that they might need a little extra time.
Zeb, what would be a highlight for you?
I would have to say episode 18 with Dino from Bondi Rescue was one of my favourite episodes to do, mainly because I grew up watching Bondi Rescue.
Everyone was a fan of Dino. Well, not everyone, but I was.
Yeah, it was so funny hearing him come in and just be like, yeah, they call me Dino. And
I didn't know whether it was like rude. Like
yeah, I
Mr.
was like, no,
Gladstone.
surely that's definitely a thing,
Yeah.
Dino.
I was like, Dean.
Anyway, we call him Dino now. But no, we call him
We're on
Dean.
a first name basis.
Yeah, we're on a first name basis. But no, I really liked having him in here just because I think breathwork is a topic of conversation that's getting
so
a lot of
hot right
attention.
now.
Yeah, it's hot.
Hansel's so hot right now. I don't even know if that's definitely not even the right accent. Zoolander reference for anyone that doesn't get it.
I love Zoolander.
Oh,
Speaking of, I did happen to make and one of the highlights of that episode was trying on the Myo tape, which, funny enough, I actually am a big fan of now.
I'm still using it.
I've been using it, and Gabby, funny enough, she used it as well.
Does she?
Yeah, I'll have to put a photo up over the top of this of me
It's
using my
so
Myo tape at night time. But
funny.
I thought it was hilarious to kind of like put on mid episode, but then I also just laughed at myself because now I use it and I love it.
It's so good. I actually was doing the washing the other day and emptying my pocket, and I had like a crumbled up Myo tape in there. I was like, oh, how did that get in there?
Yeah, and for those who were wondering, after that episode or in that episode, I was talking about the fact that with the 3M tape that I put on my mouth at night, I wake up in the morning, half the time it's like scrunched up and thrown off the bed.
Yeah.
The Myo tape hasn't come off.
Nah, it's so good.
Yeah,
So
solid.
good. Like,
Solid
the
as.
first few nights, I don't know about you, I did wig out a little bit, but then after that I was fine.
Yeah, it was actually so much better because of the fact that I could actually breathe at night time.
Yeah.
Like if I needed to,
And you didn't
the
wake up
elastic was
to-
stretchy enough, that I could kind of like open my mouth a smidgen,
Yeah.
but I couldn't open it to the point where like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, or sleep with my mouth open.
So good.
But yeah, I love the episode with Dino, and just as well hearing a little bit about his journey and his experience with breath work and some of the stuff that he does now with some of his ice bath coaching.
Yeah.
I would love to coordinate an event with him at the end of the year. It's like low key a
Absolutely.
goal of mine.
We need to even just go to one of his sessions, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree.
Where are they, Bronte, Bondi? Or Tamarama?
The eastern suburbs.
Yeah, eastern suburb vibes. Yeah. No, that was really cool.
But yeah, like I love that episode.
You have to tell people what you've noticed with that on.
This is a lot better. I
Can't take it seriously. Does it rip off the hairs for the guys?
I'm sure.
There's a special beard tape. And Seb, so you're already mouth baked. You know, maybe you could tell people what you've noticed.
You have to tell people
This
what
is-
you've noticed with that on.
This is a lot better. I
Can't take it seriously.
I can't actually even smile with it on.
No, that's fantastic.
That's amazing. I think the big thing with the mouth taping is just you wake up and feel fresh the first few nights. Like I feel like I'm a bit like groggy. When I first started trying to implement it, I was like, oh, you wake up a couple of times throughout the night because you're just trying to adjust.
Oh,
Yeah, but
yeah.
my mouth doesn't feel like it's staying shut, but it also doesn't feel like
Yeah.
I feel threatened. Yeah, what would be one of your highlights?
I feel like one of the highlights, it would have been earlier on in the piece, was when we sat down with Mads, a fellow Mads, Maddie
Fellow
White.
Mads.
Fellow Mads.
Mad squared.
Mads squared, Mads cubed.
It's cute.
Maddie White from the Conscious Chiropractor, or not from,
Yeah.
she is the
The conscious
the
chiropractor.
Conscious Chiropractor up on the sunny coast. But just hearing her story about, you know, her journey into even just wanting to be a chiropractor through her own really unfortunate experiences. Like I remember being so teary and so emotional listening to that. And it wasn't even bunged on. It was just like what this woman has gone through and the fact that she's out the other side being so positive about it and not letting it be like, you know, poor me sort of thing.
Yeah.
It was really, really moving.
And you could really hear the passion in her voice as she spoke about it.
She is just the most. I remember after we got off the podcast with her, I said to you, I was like, I love this woman. I'm, heterosexual for context, but I was like, she just speaks so eloquently. She's so down to earth. She's so self-aware. She's just unreal.
Yeah,
I love her.
it was awesome.
Love you, Mads.
You would get along like a house on fire with her.
Oh.
We need to get her back down to Sydney. She was in Sydney like a year ago,
Yeah.
and we met up with her in the city, and it was unreal.
Oh, I can't wait till she comes back down. Or we go up there, one of them.
One of the two.
When
Yeah,
we
I
go
wouldn't
on
mind a
tour.
road trip. Imagine that. We don't know yet on tour.
We said this to somebody. We're like, yeah, we're going to do a tour.
The East Coast tour and go visit all of our guests.
With the we don't know yet groupies. Yeah, that definitely was a highlight for me.
And to have the confidence in him, I wouldn't have been able to move my neck the way that I do. I actually had a major car accident in 2012 where I broke my neck, back, sternum, ribs, It was like pretty crazy.
Shit.
And I actually got a fusion. I was flown to the Alfred Hospital and got a fusion because it was unstable. Coming out of that, I had 3 months in a brace and like this big thing that came down here. I couldn't really move my neck very well. And if I didn't have that connection with my chiropractor and someone that believed in me, because not many chiropractors would adjust something that's been fused, and to adjust above and below and actually get the things moving for me and to have the confidence in him, I wouldn't have been able to move my neck the way that I do.
What would be another highlight for you? It's so hard because we've had so many awesome people on.
Yeah. I really liked, especially because I feel like I'm in a bit of a, you know what? I loved the Chapo conversation about talking about public health, and where like healthcare is headed. I think that one really set up the need for having a podcast or having a channel where you can try and educate people about health-related topics. Yeah. But just getting his take on where public health is headed and the fact that it is a real slow-moving kind of beast.
To quote Chapo
himself. Unquote. I feel like that was probably one of the bigger takeaways for me, because we often, a lot of the time in the private sector, look at it from the perspective of, people coming in and wanting to, personally invest in their own health journey.
Yeah.
But health literacy is so short, and that's half the reason we kind of started this podcast, was to try and really bolster and promote health literacy across general pop. So, I think that was definitely a big highlight for me.
Yeah, no, it was really, really
Also,
good.
I just love sitting and talking with Chapo.
He's just talking.
I actually haven't seen him in a little bit though, because I haven't been down to the URC in a bit.
I haven't seen him in a while too. He calls me out every time I don't attend a running session I say I'm going to. Well, I suppose they're our personal highlights. Selfish. How selfish of us.
Yeah, and more so we love everyone that we've spoken to as well.
It's actually hard to rank. They're not even like our favorites. They're just like highlight or monumental moments that we have really enjoyed throughout this journey.
Key takeaways as well.
Yeah. But I guess looking at the stats or the analytics, if you will.
What are you guys like?
Yeah, what are you actually like? So we sort of put together and looked across platforms what ones have been best performing. Drum roll, please. So what was number 3?
Number 3 goes to episode 15, which was Beyond the Hormone Hype with Dr. Izzy Smith.
Yeah.
Which was an unreal episode.
It was actually so good.
Yeah. And I remember talking with Izzy before the podcast just about a lot of the topics we were about to go through. And I don't know, I just got so amped. Her energy was so cool. She came in, she was just ready to go.
And she speaks so fast, but in like a good way. Like her brain is just so fluid. What's fluid? Yeah, flowy. Fluid. Goodness me. I need a holiday.
But no, I do agree. It was unreal.
It was really good.
I think as well, the concept of like hormones being such a big topic in
even the whole balancing hormone thing, and like I've definitely still seen so many things on my socials.
Media,
signs you might have a hormonal imbalance.
Yeah, and social media is a big trap for some of that information. Something that like we just take for granted. People, talking about. Speaking of Chapo before, I did see him post something about like advice online and how like there's some studies coming out now around.
Yeah, it was a crazy percent of the people that the recommendations or evidence how low. Oh my God,
how
my
much,
words.
Yeah, it was like
how
much
little of it was accurate.
Yeah, and how much misinformation there was out there online. But I think it was such a good episode for just really kind of breaking down what hormone is and why people shouldn't be freaking out about it too much, but also why they should be preventative in trying to get on top of their health journey in general.
Or even the whole concept of hormonal imbalance. Is it actually a thing? What do we need to know? What don't we need to know?
Yeah, agreed.
Alrighty. Okay, that was number 3. Drum roll. Can you do a drum roll for me and I'll announce number 2?
And number 2
was episode 1. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was just Seb and I. We didn't have any cool guests on.
Yeah, we're just random.
Peace to the We Don't Know Yet community. It was Suppose We Better Introduce Ourselves.
Yeah, and the title of that came about because of my extremely good habit of saying the word suppose. Yeah.
What was the count in that first step?
I can't remember. I think it was like 15 times, 16 times I said the word suppose.
To be fair, my word is absolutely. I don't know if it's like a nervous word or just.
We don't say it anymore.
No,
Have you
we
ever watched
don't. We're more
where every
confident.
time we go through the episodes to edit now?
Yeah. It's all about confidence, baby. But look how, actually, to be fair, I've not listened back to that one in a while. And I think I'd cringe. We'd sound so like, hello and welcome back to the We Don't Know Yet.
I know.
Now I just jumble my words and I'm like, guys, what it is, guys. Like,
Yeah, it
I'm
becomes
human.
a little bit more natural, which is good.
Yeah.
Conversational. That's what we were going for.
conversational is our game. No.
Conversational is our name.
We Don't Know Yet is our name. Conversational is our game.
Nice. Love that. I'm a
Booyah.
Jarvis.
But no, for that to be episode 2 or the highest. Oh
That was
my
episode
gosh.
1.
Yeah, episode 1. Sorry, highest ranking episode.
Oh,
number 2.
yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Very,
I think
very
as
cool.
well, it's the intro. It's like, get to know us a little bit.
Yeah, and that wasn't even when we were on Apple Podcasts. By the way, did you guys know that we're now on Apple Podcasts?
Maddie loves Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, just get on Apple Podcasts. Well, because Erin, our dear friend Erin, said she doesn't bother listening to podcasts that aren't on Apple Podcasts. I am also one of those people. I listen to our one, obviously, but I don't listen to podcasts on Spotify.
I'm on Spotify.
Well, now,
Spotify and YouTube.
whatever side you guys are, or side of the triangle, because there's YouTube now as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go and watch YouTube. If you haven't watched YouTube yet, go and watch it. Mainly because we look dorky as when we're on screen.
Dorky. So dorky.
And my fashion game has really evolved in the
Yeah.
in the first few episodes where I wore trackies almost every single episode to then I was like, actually, personal brand.
Personal brand. What do I want to look like today?
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
speaking to Millie as well
Yep.
about a personal brand.
Yep.
But we might even pop in an excerpt about, I guess, our journey to where we are today as well. Obviously, we touched on it a little bit more at the start of today's episode, but even just us becoming friends and how the whole podcast thing came about. I don't know what better way to say it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Listen now. All right. And the first, oh no, I'll start that again. And the highest ranking podcast on Spotify and YouTube, not Apple Podcasts, but because we weren't yet on Apple Podcasts is, Zeb, do you want to read it out?
No, you read it out.
Episode 5, we don't know about running yet, when we sat down with Luke Murfitt from Evolve Human Performance. Yeah, and I definitely attribute this being the highest ranking episode to the fan base of teenage boys that Luke has.
Yeah. all the guys that he trains at the gym.
When we first put up like some of the snippets on our Instagram, the comments from teenage boys that we got were like, yeah, Luke, get it, bro. Like, it's so funny. I was like, Zeb, what's going on? Not realizing that they were Luke's fan base, not ours.
Yeah, I was like, we're blowing up.
Yeah.
We're going
We've
viral.
made it,
Episode
mama.
5, we're going viral.
I know. That was a very cool episode because, again, similar to Dino's, running is so hot right now.
Yeah, running is huge. Actually, we're coming into peak running season as well.
True.
Sydney Marathon, Nike Marathon.
Sydney will be in a couple weeks by the time this goes live.
Yeah, it will, which would be crazy.
Husky Mara in November. Yeah.
Huge. I'm also convinced that the episode popped off so much because
Pop.
It's funny that I said popped off, but it popped off so much because you were talking about your blister, which popped.
I did too. Yeah. Oh, I would put a photo up, but I actually reckon it needs like a trigger warning. It's pretty gruesome. Yeah.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning.
There you go. Now we can post if we want.
Yeah, I'll post the episode. Oh my gosh, the photo rather. Oh, but no, that was a really good episode. Just chatting with him, and obviously as someone who's worked with him personally, he's such a legend.
Yeah, he was sick.
He's such a good dude.
Yeah.
We might even pop on a little bit about the blister story rather for those that are interested. I actually feel like it's been good to sit down and reminisce, if you will, because we have actually chatted with a lot of cool people and learned a lot. I feel like this is free professional development.
Yeah.
In a way.
That's kind of what we wanted it to be as well.
Self-serving.
Selfishly.
You guys fell for our trap. No, actually it's been very, very cool.
Yeah.
Would you care to share with our audience, dear Zeb, where our next steps sort of look like? That was horrible. It was a train wreck as I was saying it.
I'm all about it. I'm going to roll with it. There's no going back on that now. Do we?
Do we?
Do
I
we?
don't know. Do we?
Do we?
Do we deserve it?
Well, to start with, we're going to keep going with episodes.
Yeah.
Huge.
Shock horror.
Yeah. I wonder what the stat is of podcasts that make it to episode 50.
Just watch us, baby.
Yeah, watch us.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've got some cool guests lined up.
Some very cool guests lined up and
Very
more
cool
in the
guests.
woodwork.
Yeah, more in the woodwork. Goals are to bring on some
Bigger guests.
some big guests, but also be able to give back to our guests.
I want Michael Bublé.
Yeah, we're so blessed to Michael Bublé. I want Michael Bublé.
I don't know how he can fit into a health
Maybe
and
we can go
wellness
to a
podcast.
Michael Bublé concert. And, I don't know.
He can tell us what he eats or something. I don't know.
That'd be awesome. Michael Bublé, if you're watching this.
Or the health of his vocal cords.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's a good one. Vocal coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. He can talk to us about that.
Yep.
Michael Bublé, we're coming.
At Michael Bublé
Yeah.
with the accent on the E.
But yeah, so some guests lined up. Hoping to be able to give back to our guests. We've been really lucky to have LSKD jump on board
Very
and
lucky.
help us give back to some of the people that have come into the studio and
They're just
you
a
know
bunch
met
of
with us.
legends. They're so nice. So easy
Honestly.
to talk to.
Yeah, it's been really good. And then from there we've got some exciting stuff coming on socials. Hey?
Yeah. Keep an eye out on socials over the next week or two if all
Yeah.
goes to plan.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out, guys. And we are at We Don't Know Yet Pod on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. Yep. Is it the same handle on YouTube?
Oh no, this is gonna be like that one time that you did.
We
this
don't know yet.
a few
Dot
months-
pod dot podco, but
Yeah. It was our email account. And you were
Oh,
like,
bugger.
we don't know yet. @gmail.
it
We don't know
was
yet.
early days. We'll pop all of our socials in the show notes.
Yeah, but make
Keep
sure
an
you
eye
check
out.
it out.
Keep an eye out. No, actually, this isn't us just using it to gain followers. Like, we are actually planning to announce something very cool in the next
Yeah,
week or two.
yeah, something.
Some things.
Very exciting.
Things. Plural. Things.
Yeah, lots.
Things.
Yeah.
All right.
To mark 25 episodes.
I reckon at, episode 40, we should do another reflection. These are good.
Yeah, I do like the reflection.
I was going to say 50, but I'm like, that sounds too far.
Yeah, it is a long way, but we're gonna get there.
Oh, absolutely.
It's only another year if we're going to this schedule.
True. By then
2-year anniversary.
we could be doing it weekly.
We should have worn birthday hats today. We're gonna do that for the next one.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
And bring a cake.
I actually didn't realize it was an anniversary. Actually, sorry, not related to what we've talked about today. I don't know why I'm saying sorry. But yesterday we were at a little function with Jack, my partner, and both of us completely forgot it was our anniversary. And he's
Yesterday?
like, yeah. And he goes, by the way, happy anniversary. And I was like, oh my God, I also forgot. Because I thought once you're engaged, like your old anniversary is just defunct. I don't know.
Does it?
I don't know. In case you, I'm also engaged. There's been some updates, guys.
Yeah. Wait, I
Yeah.
can't even remember if we told people in the last
I
episode.
don't think we did. Or maybe we did. If we did, you're hearing about it again.
Oh my gosh, she's engaged.
Yeah, I'm engaged. My new personality trait. Yeah. But nah, yeah. I don't know where I was heading with that or why that came to mind. I just wanted to tell you.
It's just a fun fact.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for listening. Thanks for all the support. We are very, very grateful and honestly could not do that without you. Share with a mate, share with a hinge date, share it around, share the love.
Yeah, share at a run club.
Yeah. Share with the Run Club. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to this week's podcast.
Be the first to know when the next episode drops by hitting subscribe on wherever you catch your podcasts.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram @wedon'tknowyet.pod.
See ya.